Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and today is Saturday. So again, happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. And to start off our speed duel segments for this weekend, we have something special for you. This is a viewer-submitted hero deck. This comes all the way from Santa Marta in Colombia for a hero-themed event. And I'm going to try to pronounce this. I didn't actually look up the name of this city, but I think it's pronounced Medellin. And the duelist would be Leibniz. So, real quick, here's our duelist submitter. This is where this deck came from. For just full transparency, there's casual duelists everywhere. So, the way he did his deck was it was another Neos, it was another Hero Blast deck, and it was pretty darn awesome. So obviously when we got to talking about it in the comments, I wanted to see the deck. And this is one of those things where like, this benefits the whole community if we do a little show and tell. So let's show and tell. Skill card. He's going to be using the straight out of Neospace skill card. Now, he doesn't care too much about all of the effects. This is an at the start of the duel flip over card. The effect he's looking for is if only your opponent's controlling a monster that you can special summon Neos from the hand. For the remainder of the turn, you cannot special summon except Elemental Hero or Neospatian monsters. And during the end phase, if a fusion monster controls return to the deck, you can special summon one Neos from the deck. So it's sort of supposed to be the opposite of what like Neospace does. It's always supposed to go ahead and spit Neos back to the field. We're going to use this in order to board one of the biggest vanilla monsters on level 7 that we can. So that is the purpose of the skill cards today. Moving into his main deck. And again, okay, I only picked up the main deck. We're going to start off with 2 copies of Elemental Hero Blazeman. Now, when it's a normal summoned or special summon, you can choose to add polymerization from the deck to the hand. However, this is not going to happen. Instead, during the main phase, you can activate this effect. Cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except fusion. Send 1 Elemental Hero from deck to graveyard except same name. If due, this card's name, attribute, attack, and defense become the same as the monster sent to the graveyard until the end of the turn. Use this effect once per turn and only once that turn. So, what we're trying to say is, you want to go ahead and declare Neos, throw Neos. Neos is now in the graveyard, so again, what we know, because I've already shot my mouth off about it, is he's going to be using his own Hero Blast. He's going to be setting up Elemental Hero Neos as fast as possible. Plus, Blazeman is going to jump in power. So, kind of cool, kind of awesome. Next, another way to get Neos in there, we're going to be playing 1 copy of Elemental Hero Prisma. Now, Prisma doesn't get to do the rest of this stuff. Instead, what you need to do is once per turn, reveal 1 fusion monster from the extra deck, send 1 of the materials listed on it from deck to grave. This name becomes that name till the end of the turn, which is fine. So again, there's no harm in showing you part of his extra deck. I just need to show you that there's a Neos card. So, as far as there being a Neos card, we can of course select Neos, which means, and again, I think this guy should have been before Prisma, but I like the way that we're doing this. We're going to be playing a full playset of the Elemental Hero himself. So again, remember, if we start and our opponent already has a monster and we don't, we just play him. And then otherwise, we have ways to toss him into the discard pile. Doesn't matter if he gets destroyed by cards or effects. We have ways to bring him back. So again, Neos, pretty darn awesome. Moving on. 1 copy Neospatian Grand Mole. Again, anybody who played in a time period where this guy was out and around, like, you know how oppressive this guy can be. The fact is, he's got to be a tier 3 limit. He's going to be one of the tier 3 limits used in this deck. And again, it just allows us to help control the tempo and pace of the game. Another tier 3 limit that we're going to use, Tribe Infecting Virus. Now again, he said this was built for a hero-themed event, which makes a whole lot of sense why you would put this in the main deck, is because you know everybody's calling warriors. And again, you're not worried about killing your own warriors, because number 1, you have a way to straight out of Neospace the card. 2, you're going to be able to bring it back into your hand, utilizing other cards as well, like the aforementioned Hero Blast. So again, not a lot to get worried about. So this is good so far. Moving forward, to the spells 2 copies of End Shuffle. Now this one gets overlooked a lot for elemental hero cards. Shuffle 1 elemental hero or Neospatian that you control into the deck. If you do, special summon 1 elemental hero or Neospatian with a different name from the deck. Banish this from the graveyard. Shuffle from the graveyard into the deck either a hero or Neospatian or a Neos Fusion. Then draw 1 card. Each effect is once per turn. And again, this is great because what we can do is we can go from Neospatian Grandmal into Neos. We can put Neos back into the deck in order to rock it with Blazeman. While getting Neospatian Grandmal to the field. This card is super slept on, and especially when you start dealing with the Neospatians, the fact that we have a lot of good Neospatians and heroes, this is a great card, and I love the fact that he's using it. 2 copies, Galaxy Cyclone. Now again, for the same reason I'm saying, like, you want back row destruction, obviously we're not using Cosmics. Instead, we're going with the Double Galaxy. First and foremost, it's on par with Nightbeam. Nightbeam can only target a face down anyway. If the opponent was going to activate it, they can activate some shenanigans. If you guys want to substitute in a Nightbeam and like go Nightbeam's in Galaxy, that's fine. But you got to remember, what he's looking for is he's looking for the continuous face-up spells, continuous face-up traps. We want to go ahead and get rid of those field spells, equipment. Galaxy Cyclone gets to come back for an encore performance. So, kind of the better card, and that's why he's got it boarded in here. Going further, we got the Tier 1 limit, Offerings to the Doomed. Again, not needing to like press into whether or not we need cards like MST in this portion of the deck. Offerings to the Doomed is going to give us that bit of control. Again, like we showed you with Blazeman being able to copy stats, it's probably going to be a lot tougher when you consider that you're going to be using this with Neos. This is just a very good option. Moving on, we are going to touch our Tier 2 limits. We're going to grab out 2 copies, Reinforcement of the Army. Again, pretty basic. We need to get to our copies of Blazeman and Prisma just as soon as we can. Making these searchable, plus with the End Shuffle, being able to tag out to different ones, we're basically able to make whatever board we want. So again, this is good stuff. We end our spells with a copy of Swords of Revealing Light, which again is a great reason why he's got the Galaxy Cyclones. Okay? This is a card that we tend to forget about. And again, if you guys remember, we did not see this card get on the limitations list. This card should have probably been on the limitations list. With a smaller deck size, Swords of Revealing Light eats up way too much time, and stall decks can do some crazy things in Speed Duel. If you don't believe me, I'll build one for next week. I'll show you. Going to the traps. Traps are pretty cool. I'm liking them. Obviously, the 2 Hero Blasts. So again, target an elemental hero normal monster that's in the graveyard, add it back to your hand. If the opponent controls any monsters with attack less than or equal to it, destroy one of them. It's pretty easy when we're going to do that with the Neos. And again, the fact that we get to go straight into Blazeman, gaining the same power. This is pretty crazy stuff. This is going to hurt type stuff. We do have the Ordeal of the Traveler, and this one was a bit unique for me. It means that you're going to be playing a guessing game with the opponent, and I do think that the latest ruling on this is you don't actually have to show your opponent the card. You just tell them yes or no. They're either right or wrong. So the way this trap card works, and again, this is a little controversial, once per battle, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, activate this effect. The opponent chooses a card in your hand at random, calls the type of card between being a monster, spell, and trap, and if it's called wrong, the opposing monster, the attacking monster, gets returned to the owner's hand. Now, what's crazy with this is, again, and I don't want to shuffle this right now because it's the rest of the deck, but if this was my hand, in this 5-card stack here, they can't keep picking the same card unless I've only got like 1 card. It's got to be random. So the best way to do this is either to roll a die based on the number of cards in your hand, which again is a little weird. 1 is always the same thing. 2 is evens or odds. 3 is a 6-sided die with something being 2 things at a time. 4 is a D4. 5 is a D6 where 6 is a reroll. You guys figure it out. It is what it is. You probably get away with using 2 dice and figuring out how to do this at random without shuffling the hand. But at the same time, what that's going to do is it's going to encourage them to try to figure out what each card is. Since I don't think there's any rule with shuffling the hand, simply just shuffle it and tell them to fan it out and tell them to pick a card, tap it, and give me a card type. And again, I mean, you got to just be honest when you reveal the card, or you choose not to reveal the card. In the past, the card was revealed. Nowadays, I don't think it has to be. So, cool trap. Very, very unique method. Remaining cards are a couple Quaking Mirror Forces, which again trap things face down, allowing you to beat over them over time, which is good. A Wall of Disruption, which again, you're using cards like Tribe and Blaze Man that aren't always as strong as some cards can be. Wall of Disruption does hurt cards for coming at you en masse, which is very good. And then 2 copies of Wabaku. So again, great card, good cards. This is a very fun deck. And of course, this is the main deck. So again, real quick, go ahead and take a photo, screenshot, whatever you need, pause and make some notes. We'll be right back with the rest in a moment. All right, as per the usual on the channel, we're going to start with our side deck. Now, the side deck, I was told, can change. The side deck, again, was built for a hero-themed weekend. The tournament was based on this. So, to that, he starts with 2 copies of Warrior Elimination. What this means is if he goes second, he can go basically just pop the entire opposing side. This ended up working like Geki for him. Now, options we can do because of the way the deck is currently built. I'm thinking like Oversoul could be very fun in your deck. Just a quick way to bring back our boy Neos. Premature Burial probably wouldn't be a bad option either, since that is now allowed. I would just pack some sort of Resurrection, because again, Resurrection to me would matter more than just straight board wiping. But you were playing towards the event, so of course this was the best possible decision you could make that day, and I kind of subscribe. You also had your Lost Winds, love it. Again, hero themed. Any other deck will still special summon, will still get the uses out of these. I love this. This is something I do all the time. And then I noticed that you played 2 Waking the Dragons. That makes me happy. And this gives you access to the things in your extra deck that are not heroes, because heroes must be fusion summoned. So you're going to have some cards in your extra deck that are here for fun, and some that are not here for fun. So let's talk about that. Going into your extra deck, you had an Arcana Knight Joker, good Waking the Dragon target, and you do have a good mix of Spell, Trap, and Monster. So again, he's going to be relevant for a while. Destiny and Dragoon for the spot destructions, love it. He does get around the Waking the Dragon, so he is summonable. And again, spot destruction, being able to do those things, having a tanky 3k by 3k, this is good stuff. One of the ones I probably would have cut out was the Brave Neos. Only because it must be fusion summoned and it's not a tag fusion. Had this been a tag fusion, this guy would be perfect to keep in. Or if we took out the Warriors and we put in Super Polys. Super Poly would make this live. Would gain 100 attack for every hero and Neospacian in your graveyard. And when this card destroys the opponent's monster by battle, add a spell trap from the deck or to the hand that mentions Neos. There might be 1 or 2 of them in here that maybe mention Neos. I don't know if End Shuffle did. It does. So that would help us get to that at least. Would be fun. One tag fusion you did include was the Grand Neos. So this guy was actually playable. And again, right here, I would sub this out for like Blue Eyes Ultimate. Just get the big powerhouse in. Grand Neos must be special summoned from the extra deck by shuffling the above into the deck. Grand Mole and Neos. Again, we could do this pretty easily. Once per turn, you can target a monster the opponent controls, bounce it, and then once per turn during end phase, return this to the extra deck. So what I would see is I could see you doing your straight out of Neo space, summon somebody like Blaze Man, use the end shuffle, swap it out, put your Grand Mole on the field, tag it up, bounce the opponent's card, swing in for the 2500. End phase split. This guy goes back, straight out of Neos space, spits Neos back on the field, and you're ready for the next round. So again, great option, love it. I did notice that you had the Nova Master. Again, this must be fusion summoned. You have the cards to do it. You do not have a card to catalyst for you. So again, I would trade this out. And if we've already traded out Brave Neos for Blue Eyes Ultimate, this is your Thousand Eyes Restrict. Again, Restrict is just going to give you a lot of great plays. Better than the possible draw one here that you can't perform. Which again, it's fair. I get why you had it in here. You can't have it. You can't activate it. And then last but not least, you had an Ojama King. I dig this. If you can go ahead and plop out your opponent's field zones while they don't have anything, potentially after you went with a warrior elimination, and then you can get into Waking the Dragon before they play a monster, then boom, Ojama King actually locks them out, and basically they have to scoop. So again, cool card. Love the deck. I really want to thank you for sharing this with the community. You may or may not have guessed because you may or may not have noticed in the thumbnail. But I did want to thank you more directly. And to do that, I've got not one, not two, but I got 3 different cards I signed for you. I will be sending them in these sleeves. I got a hard case over here. We're going to get you your straight out of Neospace skill card. Sign both sides because I don't know which side stays up more. Is what it is. Got you a Neos for the Speed Duel format. Got that going. And the Grand Mole as well. Since these are, I think, the 3 key cards in the deck. Because a lot of the plays will end up bouncing around these 3. Which is funny because I had a deck where I was going to be in another few weeks. I was going to do something where all I do is play Grand Neos. And this is going to be fun. So I will get with you on email about sending this to Colombia for you. No, don't worry about the cost. It's just a little shipping. You shared this deck with everybody. So this is the least I can do is send you some cool cards. Everybody out there, if you guys enjoyed today's video, don't just support the channel, but let's go ahead and give this boy, and let's give Leibniz his shout out in the comments section. Seriously, thank you so much for today's deck. Everybody else, I hope that we have a great day. I hope you guys enjoy tomorrow's deck as well. Do the things, like, comment, sub if we did it. If we didn't, I guess I can blame him, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go out there, be the change in the world, my friends, and have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. Later.